So what happens when the trip is over? Hi everybody, I'm Rob, and this is Storm Crow Overland. We talk about going on adventures, camping, road tripping, and just generally getting out and enjoying life. And on this week's episode, we're going to talk about what you do when the trip's over. We just got back from a weekend-long trip. Usually when I go out, it's just me in the vehicle. It's me. I might meet up with some other people, but it's usually me. And all my stuff's kind of set up for just one person. Went out for the whole weekend with the whole family, wife and a kid, and had to squeeze not only two more people in here, but all of their stuff. And their stuff may not be as optimized as the setup I have for me. So just a lot of stuff has to get crammed in here. But then when you get back, you kind of have to deal with everything. I mean, you have your basic stuff. I haven't even unpacked yet. The first thing we did when we got home is my wife and kid both ran and hopped in the shower. That's what they really wanted to do. I needed to get all this taken care of first, and then I'll go hop and shower off. But what do you do? How do you deal with all this? What kind of things do you need to kind of think through in your head? One of the big ones for me, because I can't stand a dirty fridge. First thing I end up doing is taking the fridge inside, getting all the whatever leftover food is in there and drinks and stuff, get that situated, put up where it needs to go, and then take a quick Clorox wipe, kind of wipe down the inside of the fridge, make sure it's good to go, so that when I put it out here in the garage and it sits for another week or two until I go on another trip, I know it's clean, it's ready to grow, it's ready to go. There's nothing weird growing in it. Just easy stuff like that. After that, obviously all the clothes we took camping and the sheets and pillowcases and random stuff like that. Need to take it in, make sure it gets washed. That's nothing surprising there. But what about like sleeping bags? Generally your sleeping bags come with a little stuff sack where you stuff them in there and they're real compressed, and that's not great for the insulation in your sleeping bag. So if you want it to be as warm next time, take it out, put it in if you buy a really good sleeping bag, it'll come with a little stuff sack for when you're on the trip, but it'll come with another bigger bag for storing it. And if yours didn't come with that, or if you don't have one, or you're just not sure, a pillowcase works great. Like right now, I've got 3 big sleeping bags stuffed in this old GI duffel bag that when I'm done filming, I'm going to take them out and put them in something looser to carry around. One of them came with a big bag to carry it. One of them lives in a pillowcase, and the other one lives in kind of a mesh laundry bag, just to, like I said, have something to hold them, but not keep them all compressed while the insulation's getting all compressed down. Other stuff, my kitchen setup, usually my kitchen setup is very well organized, and my stove is in one place, and all my kitchen stuff is in this little yellow bag. It's an absolute mess right now. Pieces are everywhere. I just realized the lid to my pot is stuck over here by itself. I don't even know where the pot is packed for sure. I know it's in here, but it's not where it should be. So you kind of have to go through, get all the gear out, go, man, okay, make sure everything's back neatly in the bag where it goes. All the dishes and, silverware and stuff we use, I'm going to take inside, give it a real good clean, kind of run it through the dishwasher. It all got camp clean, wipe down with a paper towel, maybe wipe down with a Clorox wipe. Not as good as it would get cleaned here at the house. So like I said, all that'll get brought in and scrubbed and run through the dishwasher and make sure it's good before it gets packed back up neatly in its bag so it's ready to go next time. Just grab the bag and go. And then the stove. I have a really nice Camp Chef. I think it's an I don't remember which one it is. It's the big one. It's got a griddle on one side and a burner on one side. And I love it. It is a great stove. Rainier 2? I don't know. It's by Camp Chef. It's a big red stove. It's great. But I like to involve my family when it comes to the cooking. And sometimes that's my wife, and sometimes it's my kid. And either way, the stove comes back filthy. Right now, it is currently covered in bacon grease and peppercorns, because we had an incident with our pepper grinder, and peppercorns went everywhere. So it's going to get taken inside, kind of halfway disassembled, cleaned real good before it all gets dried and checked and packed back up, put back on the shelf with the rest of the outdoor gear. Make sure it's good to go. Let's see. Other things are tents. Probably going to pull the tents out, set them back up, make sure all the dirt got knocked out of them. We kind of tried to do that at the campsite, make sure there wasn't a whole lot of dirt in there. But it was, it's dirt. It was dirty everywhere. It was real windy. So we'll probably end up setting those up here in the garage or the backyard, shaking them out, making sure they're good, and making sure they got packed away nice and neat. It was really kind of cold this morning when we packed up, so everything kind of got just jammed in its bag and thrown in here. It's worth it to take the time, set the tent up real quick. Um, me and my wife were using my new to me Gazelle tent. I got a Gazelle T3X. And, ooh, I love that tent. This is the first time I got to camp in it. I will probably end up doing a video about it. But the bottom line up front is it is a great tent. I love it. And you can set it up really quick. So there's no real reason for me to not, like tomorrow afternoon when I get off work, just set it up in the garage real quick, make sure everything's good, shake it out, make sure there's no moisture or anything trapped in there, and then take the time when I'm not in a rush and I'm not freezing to make sure it's packed up neatly, back in its bag, everything's where it needs to go. And then my daughter was using a cheap $35 like Ozark Trail backpacking tent. Same thing, take it out. We've had it for years, so I'll probably, same thing, set it up, uh, make sure all the dirt's shaken out, make sure there's no moisture, pack it up neatly. But before I pack it up, especially since it's a little older, I'll look it over. Is there any holes in it? All the poles look good. Is anything starting to crack or anything like that? Make sure it's good so that we don't have a problem next time we just grab it and go. Uh, I don't think they watch my channel, so I will share this story real quick. The people we went camping with are some really good family friends of ours, and we drove a couple hours to meet them somewhere to camp, and we get right as we're pulling up, they call us and they're like, "Hey, we got to run to town. We went to set up our tent, and the poles aren't in there." And they haven't used the tent in 2 years. They have absolutely no idea where the poles are. But like I was saying, you don't want to have a nasty surprise where your gear wasn't packed up right last time, and then you're missing an important piece, or God forbid there's a hole in the tent, or something like that, or the zipper's broke. I've done that. I've gone out camping and had a zipper be broke, and it was broke from the time before, and I forgot about it. I should have fixed it in between. It's just little things to kind of set yourself up for success next time. And then some of the other little things, and these are really nitpicky kind of things, but I have some kind of everyday carry stuff that lives in my Forerunner, and they live in certain spots. Charger cords, flashlights, headlamps, it all has its own little spot where everything goes. Well, my kid needed a charger, or my wife needed a headlamp, and it's, oh, here you go, here you go, here you go. And now they were very nice and helpful and tried to put them back, but they don't know where I like them. They don't know which little cubby hole they're supposed to live in. And so once I get everything out of the car, I'm going to go through and grab those little things and start putting them back right where I like to keep them, just so I know exactly where it is, and I don't have to think about it. Like, oh, where's the headlamp? I thought it was in the glove box. Why is it in the center console? Things that don't really matter, but just kind of that normal day-to-day stuff. I like knowing where everything lives. Everything has a spot. And then finally, when it comes to the vehicle, not so much on this trip, but if you're on like a longer, like actual overland trip with off-road sections, do the same thing with your vehicle that you're doing with your gear. Wash it real good. Kind of go around, look at your tires, kind of look underneath. If you've got independent front suspension, kind of take a look underneath. Make sure your boots on your CV axles look good. Just kind of give the whole thing a once over to make sure it's ready for the next adventure. You don't want to. It would suck to get invited on another trip in a week or two, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, my CV axle is about to go out, or I got water in my rear differential and didn't realize it, and now I can't go on this trip because I have to fix it, and I could have fixed it a week ago. You know, your rig is part of your gear. Take time, give it a once over, make sure it's good to go. And when I say clean it, go through the inside too, because I don't know how it happens, because no one ever seems to know who did it, but there always ends up being extra trash in the car, whether it's candy wrappers or Coke cans or something. There's just more trash in there than when we left. So I'm gonna, once I get everything out, I'm gonna go through and clean out, make sure there's no trash inside, make sure, give it a quick vacuum, make sure it looks nice, and just kind of keep things in good shape so it's ready to go. Other considerations for after the trip. Did you take a bunch of pictures with your camera? Do you need to like take your memory card out, go and back it up, go through your photos, edit them, see what you want to share? Did you take video that you need to edit? It's kind of funny because the last episode we talked about how to document your trips. On this entire trip, I took 4 pictures, and it was nothing to share with anyone else. It was just family stuff. It was the picture of my kid on the trail, and a picture of my wife. I didn't get one picture of me. I didn't do any video whatsoever. Couldn't fly drones where we were, so I didn't really document the trip at all. So I don't have to worry about going in and backing stuff up, and backing footage up, and swapping memory cards, and making sure everything's ready to go. Charge. You need to charge your drone batteries. You need to charge your camera batteries. All that kind of stuff. Whatever you need to do with your gear to get ready for that next trip, you want to be ready. Sorry, this might be a little bit of a short one. One last tip, because it became an issue today. When it comes to, like I said, I'm going to get all the gear taken care of and make sure everything's good, and then I'm going to go take a good shower and get cleaned up. You're going to check your gear, make sure it's good. Check yourself, too. Whether it's, did you roll your ankle and it's bothering you and you need to check it, or maybe kind of looking over, making sure you don't have a tick or something. Someone in the house came home with a tick. We came home with a little hitchhiker. Had to deal with that. Make sure you know how to deal with that. Make sure that you're taking care of yourself so you're ready for the next adventure as well. Like I said, it was a long weekend. I'm kind of tired. I got plenty of work to do. So this video is probably gonna be a little on the short side. Hope that's okay with y'all. If you're watching this on YouTube, realize we also release the audio as a podcast. You can find us wherever good podcasts are found. Just search Stormcrow Overland. If you're listening to this as a podcast, we also release the video of me talking on YouTube. Look us up at Stormcrow Overland there as well. And then finally, you can find me on Instagram at Stormcrow Overland. Probably could have guessed that one. I would really appreciate any like, comment, follow, subscribe, any of that kind of stuff. Let me know. Is there something I didn't think of? Is there something I forgot to mention when it comes to kind of resetting your gear and resetting your rig and resetting yourself for that next adventure? Did I leave something out? I probably did, because I'm tired. I was trying to get this video done in time because I was gone all weekend doing the trip. So if I forgot something, remind me. Let me know. Other than that, remember, sometimes you have to go out and get lost before you can find yourself. Thanks for watching.